Okay, I know this assignment's fairly difficult to do on your own, so I'm going to go ahead and run through it real quickly so you have a little bit of a guide. So we already went through this and should have filled out the worksheet. So if this is going to load anytime soon, it's not. So I'll just pull it up here quick. Budget assignment. Should have gone through this and select the different options, and after the options are selected, it tells you what numbers to plug in, right? Should have gone through this and filled out the handout. So we're assuming that is done. So the next step is we're gonna transfer that information to an Excel file. So I'm gonna go into Excel, and for guidance, I have this as my rubric, and I have this that tells me what formulas to put in where. It may not be exactly these letters just because you may put a few spaces down, but relationally it'll be correct. I would really go to this though. This tells me what to write in specifically. So example, instead of example, I'm going to put in Mr. Anand's budget. And then let's do it like this. Line items, expense amount, and then running total of remaining funds. So if I look at my rubric also, included line items. The line items are the expenses. So that has to be there. The expense amounts, so that's my dollars, and then the running total, and then it looks nice. So this is what that means. Line items are here, check. The expense amount, that's the dollars. And then the running total of what's left, the formulas need to be correct. So you can't just do this in a calculator and then type it in. You need to actually have the formulas. So I'm going to put in line items, expense, and then running total. And I'm going to drag that out a little bit. So my first expense is my salary. It's not an expense, but it's a line item. And actually, I can just look on down the list here and plug these in. So if I wanted to, I might be able to copy and paste this, but it might end up being messy. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to minimize this a little bit, drag it over to the side, and then minimize this and drag it over to the other side. So I have my monthly income, federal taxes, and I'm just going to put these all in college debt, mortgage, or rent, utilities, groceries, car payment. Almost done. Hang in there. Okay. And now for my expense, that's what the handout was for. So you should have the handout that we did, that you did in class. And going through then, I can just go through the expenses. So number one, what level of education am I going to use? Complete. So after I chose that, it tells me my salary. For me, the salary was $69,734, but that's for the year. So I divide that by 12 because it says monthly income. And that should be my answer for number 3. My answer for number 4 on that worksheet then is my federal taxes. Federal taxes are actually 13.8%. So if I take this times 0.138, that's 13.8% as a decimal. And that should also be your answer on number 4 and number 5. Those should line up. The next one then is number 6, the FICA, and this should again be your answer for number 6 and 7, and it's 7.65%. So again, I can go equals, click on this, times 0.0765, otherwise it would be 76.5%. And that should line up with whatever your answer is for number 7. Also number 6, but number 7, because then you can check your answer. State taxes. I don't have the percentage written down here. State taxes. So what I'm going to do is I already have my answer written down on the worksheet. For me, it's 261.91, and that's fine. You don't have to put the formula in for this expense line. For charity, this is up to you. You're not graded on this. charity is a dollar amount that you would donate per month, or you can do it as a percentage. So I'm going to do this quick. I'm going to highlight all my cells, maximize this just for a second so you can see under the home ribbon there's the dollar sign here. I'm going to click the dollar sign. Now everything's in the correct format, minimize it back down. So in the running total column, now that I have a few expenses in, my running total is how much is left. So after I get my monthly income check, this is what it is. But I have taxes, so I have to go equals this, my total, minus whatever I'm going to pay in for taxes. So it's going to be equals the one above minus the one to the left, because now it's after federal taxes are out, I have 5,009 minus my FICA taxes equals my remainder minus this. And then for charity, God calls us to give till it hurts. That's what sacrificial giving is. When in the Old Testament they sacrificed a ram or a lamb or their blemishless dove, they're giving something that's gonna hurt, like to go kill or burn your most prized animal. That's gonna leave a mark. That's gonna sting. So I'm gonna put in my running total. This is my after-tax income, the money that I actually get to keep. This is my pre-tax income. I'm gonna go my pre-tax times 10%, which would be 0.1. Great thing to shoot for. If you can do more, amazing. If you do less, you know, probably the majority of the world does not do close to that. But God calls us to sacrificially give. That's what I'm gonna put in for now. And then my running total again is going to be whatever was left over after all my taxes minus what I gave to charity. $581 a month. That's a big screen TV every month. That's going to hurt. That is sacrificial giving. Retirement. We watched the video on compound interest. The earlier you invest, it makes money on the money that you made. So if I invest $100 and make 10%, it's 110%. And the next year, if I make 10% on that, I'm making interest on the interest, so it compounds quickly. So I'm going to take my running total and I'm going to shoot for 10% with that also, which is outstanding. Most people don't do that. So then I'm going to take my total minus that 10%. College debt, this would be back on my form, on my handout. My college debt is $510 per month per the PowerPoint we went through. For my house, I'll pull this up, not that up. I'll pull up my recent budget assignment, not in Kiosk, so I can fly through. Here are the house choices, and this is something you may have to come back to. If your budget isn't balanced at the end, you might have to change. If you went with this house, you might have to downsize a little bit to start off here. I went with the middle house, so my mortgage rent is $900. My utilities along with that, get out of here. I don't want that one. I want this one. My utilities along with that were $400 a month. Now, some people have put in $190,000. If you have a $190,000 utility bill, you've got a problem. $400 a month for a $190,000 house. Also with this is $190,000. I'm not paying that per month. Something is broken if that's happening. I'm paying $900 a month. So my utilities are $400 a month. Go back in here, put in 400. My groceries, doesn't matter what your house size is, you gotta eat, you gotta feed yourself. We're putting 400 for that. That's probably your average family, but you get 3 kids or more, and that's gonna go up pretty quickly. Car payment, you gotta pick your car. I went with the one in the middle, so that's 300. It could be up to 450. Yes, these cars are getting dated. I need to update my car choices, but car, I'm putting 300 a month for that one. And again, if my budget doesn't balance, this is an easy thing to say, you know what, I can get A to B in this car, or this house isn't exactly what I wanted, but I'll make it work. TV, internet, and cable, do I want those? Yeah, I would cut cable first out of any of this. Actually, I don't personally have cable. So now I'm going to go to the one above. So after retirement and after all that's out, I have $3,000 left over. Then I have $510. $2,600 after that, and then my mortgage. All of a sudden, this $5,800 check is diminishing rather quickly, and this, and this is real life. I mean, you have expenses, and that's why we go to school, so you can get a good job because you have a good education. and I am running out of funds. Am I going to make it? So you've noticed, now that we're almost through this, you've noticed I've always done equals the one above minus the one to the left. So now that we're almost done with this, I'll show you that the trick is this is a relational formula. So if I drag this down, it's going to turn from C13 minus B14 to C14 minus B15. Since this is one space below, it's going to say, well, I noticed you pulled the number above minus the number to the left. So the entire time, you could have done that. So if you're watching this whole thing first and then doing it, good for you. Watch, though, as I do this, and I get the exact same answer. No, I don't. Just kidding. Let's try this. This will work. So this one just has equals this number. This one has the relational formula. So if I drag this down, now I get the same number, $370.53. So I've made it through, and it says as long as I have a positive number here, it's not in the red. So let's say I got the crazy house, it's $2,200 mortgage. Boom, I'm 9,000 in the hole, or 900 in the hole. I got to change that, so I'm going to go back to that house. So I have all of my line items. If we go through my rubric here, all line items included, yes, I've got that. Expense amounts entered correctly, I believe so. May want to go and double check. Running total is tabulated for after each item, yes. Formatting has professional appearance, meh, not so much. I probably want to fix some of that. So I'm going to zoom in quick and show you a little bit of what I'd expect with this. Now, this is 25% of your grade. This is not something you're going to want to skimp on. This is easy, and if you just say, I have all the formulas in, I'm done, that's not advised. First of all, my AL is overlapping. Here, I'm going to want to double click up here and readjust the column size. Maybe adjust all the column size so they fit. I have two random boxes up here. I think that looks ugly. I'm going to highlight these together, go to Format Cells, Arrangement, Alignment, Merge Cells, and put those together. I like outlining. That way if I printed this, it would print with nice, easy borders. Also, since these are titles, they should probably be in bold and maybe even a little bit bigger. Since this is my main title, I might want that a little bigger yet. And then you notice I readjusted this. We can also add a little splash of color to any of this. I know a lot of people highlighted their entire column here. Let's make that blue. Let's make that green. And this is subjective, meaning that this is up to opinion. More than anything, so it's just try to make it as nice looking as you can, I guess. Almost done. And we're gonna make it just a shade darker with the same color scheme. Man, I don't really like that. So you get the idea. That looks fairly attractive. At least looks professional, where it's all easy to read. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tools Spelling, make sure that I spelled groceries correctly. I misspell it every time. Don't tell anybody. Shh. Groceries. Oh, that's just a typo. And yes. And my name is spelled correctly, so I'm going to ignore all those. Boom, and I am done. So that's the assignment. Make sure to go to File, Save As. Save it, stick it in the Google Classroom, and you are done. That's all. Good luck.